Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial again. If you are just joining my channel today, you are welcome. And to my returning viewers, I love you especially. So in today's video, we'll be showing how to make this beautiful Spider-Man theme cake. Let's go over what we'll need for the fondant making. We'll need our crumb coated cake already, corn flour, icing sugar, already made fondant, then our tools, we have our candle rolling pin, smoother, tape, palette knife and pizza cutter. So to cover this cake, we will use our paneling method covering to do it. So first thing first, you have to measure the size of the cake. The top is 7, the height is 6.5, and then the width, that's the size of the cake, the long part of it is 27. Now why it's important to measure it is that so that you will not overcut or undercut. So after that, I roll out a circle fondant, and since it was too big than what I wanted, I had to cut it a little so that it will be at least 2 or 1 inches bigger. If your cake top is 8, it's best you cover with 10 inches quantity of fondant. If it's 7, cover with 8. So that's how it's done. You don't cover with the exact number. If not, you will not have space to work around it. Mostly when you are doing the upside down method, except you are not doing the upside down method, then you cut the exact size of your cake. But what we are doing here is the upside down method of covering. As you can see, after putting it, I still realized that the space, the fondant, the excess fondant was too much. So I had to cut some parts out so that it will not be too much to work on. So the next thing you do is to work on your fondant. Remember, before you roll your fondant, you already made fondant, you work on it. I don't like to work with corn flour because corn flour used to make the fondant tear easily. In case maybe this fondant remain now, if you work with corn flour, it will start tearing. So I prefer to work with icing sugar, roll with icing sugar, and I just smooth my fondant with corn flour. I smooth the cake after putting it. I use corn flour to smooth the body. Now, when you are doing paneling method, it's easier to get the length first than getting the height. So instead of focusing on getting the height, try to get the length. If you are working with the length of like 30 inches, maybe you want to roll out 30 inches, try to make it 25 inches long before you start working on the height, because it's easier to get the height than the length. So when you focus on the height first, it will be difficult, and as you are rolling to get the height, you are still expanding the cake more, so sometimes it might not come out well. That is why I advise that you get the length before the height. So I've gotten the height, or I've gotten the length already, I'm just getting the height. You see, the height is not really difficult. So that's why I said it's easier when you get the length first, because getting the height is not difficult. You just have to roll it up and down a little bit, and then you will get the height. So after getting the height, what you do next is to trim it to the exact height, like 1 inches higher. If your measurement is 7 inches, let it be 8 inches or 8.5, so that you will have excess in case. So after that, you just trim. So I want to apologize for something. When I was making this video, I realized that this particular one, my space was filled up. So I was just recording. I did not know that it did not capture. So what I did is I just took another video that I had already in my gallery and replaced the covering of this, because this covering of this is another cake. I work alone. So before I went back to check, I just realized that, oh, the video has stopped, and I had already covered it. There was no way I could redo it. So I just used another cake. So when you are done, you just put a little water down so that it can stick very well. Not too much, oh, not too much. Very little water. Or if you have steamer, you can use steamer on the body. Because I had already crumb coated my cake for long, it was it needs a little bit of heat or moist to make it gum to it. So this is what you just do. You just place it round, use your smoother to go round it, round around it like that, and then join the edges together with that two smoother type. You put water and let it come and join it together. You see the way I do it now. It is not difficult. It is not difficult. With the help of two smoother, you can do an amazing job like that, and it will be very neat. Just make sure that the fondant is well placed on the cake and you have everything is gummed on it, and then you cut the excesses and then use this particular two type of smoothener together to do it. So once you just cut it out, it will be very sharp, and then you can use the other smoothener to smoothen the body and try to hide it. Then the next thing is to press the down to the up like I did here. You use to press it down, you press it down round, and then this was when I continued with this old video when I realized that it was not videoing again. I had already done that covering and used my smoother to press it down. Like, see what I did now, pressing it down. This is the second part. I did the first one and I cut it off, and I'm doing the second one again and I cut it round. This will help the sharp edge very well. That is if you are doing the upside down method oh. This will help with the sharp edge to make it very very sharp. So once I'm done with this, I will sprinkle corn flour on it. Remember I told you that I don't use corn flour to knead my icing sugar, to knead my fondant. I use icing sugar, but I use corn flour to work on my cake. So see what I'm doing here now. Sprinkle corn flour and I use smoothener to go round it. Once I flip this cake now, you're going to see how sharp the edges will be because of all this process that I've done. So I use my smoother to go round and round and round it to make sure that everything on this cake, all the edges here are very sharp. So once I flip it now, you are going to see the effect of this particular one. You see how sharp it is. See how sharp it is. Very, very sharp. Just have to clean the this thing, remove the excess corn flour on it. Another thing I do again is I also do the same thing on the down part, so that the down part where the cake is sitting will also have a sharp sitting. Same thing I did up. I match the excesses down, and then I cut it off and I smoothen it so that the up and the down part will be very very sharp, since I'm doing the upside down method. But if you are doing the other method, it might not really be necessary. You see I put corn flour again and I smooth the up and the down side so that both sides can be equally very very sharp and smooth. At this point, I'm done with my covering of the cake. I want to go on to add the stickers. I'd already cut the sticker. I'm not adding everything first. I just want to add some parts. I'm using a steamer to remove all the white icing sugar and corn flour stain. Yes, if you don't have a steamer, you can use groundnut oil and brush to brushing it and make it sharp. So I use steamer first so that I can easily put the cartoon character. Once the cake is steam is wet, it will whatever you put on it, it will just gum to it. You don't need to start putting gum paste or anything, because the icing sugar and the corn flour on the body of this cake already will act as the gum paste. See what I told you about the groundnut oil. You can use groundnut oil to clean the some parts that are still very white. It will help it to shine and shine very well. If you don't have steamer, then this groundnut oil is a very good option for you. But just note that if you want to use this oil, you have to gum the sticker first though, because this groundnut oil cannot gum it for you. So for the web, I did my royal icing very light to the consistency that I want, and I use the smallest nozzle, that nozzle that is used to write, the smallest part, to go round around you. Just watch how I was able to achieve the spider webs on the body of the cake.